Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller with a little guest here. My little kitty cat. This is Carmy Kitty. Actually, his name is Carmine Ragusa, named after Carmine on Laverne and Shirley. Don't ask me why. I don't know. He just looked like a Carmine to me, I guess. But he is my sweet kitty cat. And, oh, big yawn. The reason why I brought him along for the beginning of the video, since he decided he doesn't want to be part of the whole thing, is because what I'm going to be talking about is a topic that was requested by somebody about the difference between psychopaths and narcissists. I have to admit, it really took me some searching to come up with anything on this. I really didn't know the difference, because narcissists can be so cruel, they almost seem psychopathic sometimes. But there are subtle differences, and where the differences come is in the motives behind why they do what they do. Because a lot of the characteristics between the two are very similar, but the reasons why they do what they do, why they mistreat people, why they objectify people and abuse them, are very, well, not very different, but probably subtly different. And the extremes of why they do it are different. You'll see as I go along. So without further ado, I will continue explaining the differences. First of all, both disorders involve the person with the disorder seeing the person that they targeted as their victim as an object. You could throw a doll down on the floor, stomp on it, throw it against the wall, and that doll isn't going to feel anything. You could break a glass vase, and that vase is not going to cry. That's why many narcissists are so shocked when the victim cries out, when they confront the narcissist and say, "You mistreat me. You said a mean thing to me. I didn't appreciate that." The narcissist is like, "Oh my gosh, the puppet talks." You know, they're shocked, because in their mind, you are literally an object. Sometimes you are linked to them at their hip and joined to them in their mind, so that you should want everything they want, you should like everything they like, you don't have an opinion of your own, and it's such a shock if you dare to speak out and confront them about how you're being treated. It's like, oh my gosh, it talks and it thinks, and I didn't pull that string, so what's it doing? It just shocks them. Now, the psychopath, on the other hand, could care less if you react or not, because nothing he's doing involves you, and it doesn't involve him trying to get gratification as far as admiration or narcissistic supply. What it involves is he just plain enjoys harming people. He finds it funny and entertaining, and whereas the narcissist does find things amusing, it's for a different reason. He is not, the psychopath is not in a situation to destroy you because he wants to have some type of attention on himself. In fact, he doesn't want to get caught. He is in the situation to destroy you just because it makes him thrilled to be able to do it. You're just basically an object to him that he wants to torture and abuse and enjoys doing so. The narcissist, on the other hand, deep down inside is insecure and needs to do the things he does to you so that he feels like he exists and that he's special and unique, etc. A narcissist will crave recognition and validation. I think we already know that. He's going to want you to notice how special and unique and different he is. And if you don't, he's going to feel deprived of that entitlement. He feels that you owe that to him. And then you're going to meet with passive-aggressive reactions, usually anger, gaslighting, those kind of things. The silent treatment we've talked about. They'll ignore you, they'll neglect you, that kind of thing. Now, if you in turn confront the narcissist, or you question him, or you say, you know, I don't appreciate that, or whatever, he often will replace you with someone and go find a new supply source. It's kind of like an animal that's playing with another animal, and that animal doesn't want to be bothered anymore. Then the first animal will go and find another animal to toy with, because the first one got tired of him. Now, the psychopath, on the other hand, is a predator. He isn't looking for validation, and he wouldn't know validation if it bit him on the toe. He is alive to exploit, torment, and destroy anybody he decides to, just because it's sheer pleasure for him to do this. The psychopath is like a hunter, and the victim is the hunted. So it's almost like that movie, The Most Dangerous Game, that I saw a long, long time ago. It was about a guy letting another guy run through the jungle while he hunted him, literally, like an animal. Very scary movie, very disturbing movie. Now, when confronted, a psychopath doesn't feel afraid, except maybe fear of getting caught or having been caught, feels no remorse, no guilt, no insecurity, no deprivation, like the narcissist feels he's being deprived of his narcissistic supply. But instead, the psychopath just keeps on doing what he's doing. He keeps controlling, keeps tormenting, keeps harming the person, knowing that he's in control and he's in charge and he pushes buttons and he can make people do whatever he wants them to do. And the more afraid they are, the more he gets off on it and thinks it's entertaining. It's very disturbing. He wouldn't necessarily murder somebody all the time, although there are like serial killers that are psychopathic. But not every psychopathic is a serial killer, because it's just too much work. It takes too much energy. And they want to do everything, you know, in a quick way and get it done and over with so that they can just have the fun and go on to the next thing. They're not about being all that calculated, which I think is why a lot of them get caught. Whereas the narcissist is very calculated because he wants to make sure he gets that supply source. The psychopath, he's just in it to blackmail you and steal from you. And identity theft is another thing that psychopaths are good at. He just wants to make you crumble any way that he can. For him, life is about getting what he wants without getting caught in any way he needs to, without personal cost to himself, basically, which is why he gets mad when he gets caught. And actually, antisocial personality disorder is the proper psychological term for psychopathology and for sociopathology. In the near future, the DSM-5 may incorporate narcissism with psychopaths, which I think would be smart, because I don't see a real distinction between the two of them other than extremity, and in that case, the DSM could probably list that in a different type of category. Psychopaths are not able to wait for what they want. They have a real problem with delayed gratification, and they get very angry if they don't get what they want. Narcissists, like I said, are more calculated. They take time to plan how they're going to manipulate, which is why, yes, they should be held accountable for how they treat people. They generally know what they're doing, and they're not quite as driven as a psychopath is. The psychopath is just like on all the time, just always out there trying to destroy, just because that's what drives him. Narcissists are able to kind of function in society somewhat, more than psychopaths might be. Although they both can to an extent, the psychopath is functioning, but only till his next hit, so to speak. Both cannot show empathy, the psychopath or the narcissist. But the psychopath is also very sadistic. As I said, he gets off and finds humor on harming people and causing them pain. I can remember when the toxic person in my life, who I've always told you was a narcissist, and I'm starting to lean towards more that she probably was a bit psychopathic, because psychopaths can be women. I can remember a time when she had turned on a gory movie. It was called Taking Lives, for those of you that might know what I'm talking about. And I don't handle horror movies well at all, especially not slasher films. And I was like cringing like into the couch like this. I didn't want to hear it or see it or know anything about it. And she thought that was great entertainment. She was laughing, ha, that really bothers you? Oh my gosh, girlie, I can't believe that bothers you so much. And to her it was just immensely funny and a joy to see me wreathing in fear. I just don't like that stuff. I don't watch those things, and they do sincerely bother me. Probably because I'm such an empathic person. So she just thought that that was so entertaining, which makes me think she probably leaned more towards the psychopathic end of things. Psychopaths would not be as able to be in a relationship with someone as a narcissist can. Narcissists crave relationships because they want that supply source, whereas psychopaths really don't want to be in a relationship with you because they're looking to destroy you. They're not looking to relate to you. They're not in it for, you know, mutual goals and dreams and hopes. If they do get into a relationship with you, there's a lot of lying that goes on and deception, cheating on their spouses, double lives, that kind of thing. You've probably seen that on some TV shows. That's very common with both narcissists and psychopaths, but again, for a different motive. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into the differences between the two of them. Like I said, very, very hard to find definite information comparing the two because they are so close in nature, but definitely more of a sadistic, purposeful, driven type of thing in the psychopath versus the need to feel validated and esteemed and admired that the narcissist has. The psychopath really has no need to be admired, although I'm sure he enjoys his notorious status as he, you know, comes into the limelight of the media. I just think there's definitely more of a danger, you know, to your ability to function in society as a whole and balanced human being if you are with a psychopath versus a narcissist. Narcissists, yes, you can get away from them, but psychopaths are often also stalkers, so you're not going to give up until they have gratified whatever that sadistic evil desire is that they have. So, again, hopefully that clears things up. Thanks for watching. I sure hope that you are not in a relationship with either a psychopath or a narcissist. But I would say you have a better chance of getting out somewhat intact and at least being able to pick up the pieces of your life if you've been with a narcissist versus a psychopath. So, God bless you. Stay tuned for more videos when I come up with more ideas. Thanks for writing and staying in touch. Have a great day. Bye.